Starla, and I just wanted to kind of give you a list of tips on how to start seeds. And one of my first tips is when you get your seeds, this is going to seem kind of funny, but read the directions. All seed packets will give you wonderful information about the seed, the variety, where it's from, and the big thing you're going to want to know is when you need to start it. Because sometimes we do is we start seeds too early or too late. Okay, my second tip for starting seeds is you really need to adhere to what the back of the seed packet says about your zone. I don't even actually know what our zone is called in Ohio, but we live in Ohio and we have our last frost on May the 15th. Do not be deceived. We have had frost on May the 15th. So you want to adhere to that and have your plants started accordingly, so you won't be able to put your plants out until after May the 15th. Third tip for starting seeds on a budget is don't go out and buy seed starter kits. Use what you have around the house. Unfortunately, in our time, we all have tons of plastic containers. And so my tip is use some plastic containers. Like this is what we got ham in. Here's what we got some lettuce in. You can cut off the lid and you'll have this container. My fourth tip for starting seeds at home is you want to use seed starter soil. And actually it's not really much of soil. It's mostly sphagnum moss and it's very light, has perlite in it. I encourage you to get organic. It's not that expensive, but it's very necessary because when you start with potting soil, you get too much water, it gets waterlogged and the seeds rot. My fifth tip for starting seeds at home is you want to use a bottle like this to mist your seeds. You can use a small pitcher to use water, but the bad thing about it is the seed starter mix is so light, it can just become waterlogged or it'll go away from the seed starter and away from the seeds instead of being on top where you want water to stay where the seeds are to germinate them. Tip for growing seeds at home is you want to put your seeds, when you're starting them, you want to place them in a warm spot in your house. A south-facing window, even just in a warm place that gets really good light and good amount of airflow. Because if you don't have a heated greenhouse, you're going to have some place to put them before you put them out in your cold frames or a greenhouse. You're going to want some place to start your seeds. So use your house in a warm place. Okay, my tip number 7 is this. If you are starting your seeds in the basement, or if it's a really damp spring, or you just live in a humid area, you really want to consider using a small little fan to keep around your seeds just for airflow's sake, because one of the things that can happen is you can get mold or different types of fungus around your seedlings. So just keep that in mind if you live in a place or have a really damp spring, to have airflow with a small fan. Tip number 8, with already going over tip number 7 about keeping airflow going, which is very important, but you must consider the fact that you want to keep your seeds damp. And so if you live in a dry house, if you have a wood burner, you want to make sure your seeds are damp at all time. And how you will do that is you're going to baby these. You're going to constantly, I'm talking 2 or 3 times a day, go over, check your little seeds and see if their soil is damp or not. And that's kind of hard if you work, because you're going to need to check it often.